Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's Dark Deception video, we take a look at what we might expect to see from the upcoming, yet mystery-shrouded, Chapters 3 and 4, which are due for release later this year. A variety of media, including screenshots, music, and even video footage, has been released by the developer, showing off both work in progress and pre-production content for these new chapters. And so in this video, we are going to look through it all with a full analysis and some of my own predictions. By the end of this video, you should have more of an idea as to what these mystery chapters will be all about, so let's get started with a look at Chapter 3. After clearing the super difficult Deadly Decadence stage, in which we were pursued by a group of statues come to life, we see a brief teaser for the next chapter, which looks like this. As you can see, this teaser shows what appears to be a rubber duck floating, and the sound of ducks ominously quacking in the background. Upon returning to the Dark Deception menu screen, we are granted with this horrifying image, which once again shows a mangled looking duck face. So we know Chapter 3's enemy will be these ducks, but how will they work, and what extra evidence of them can be found when combing through the developer Glowstick Entertainment's Twitter and Instagram accounts? Well, let's take a look. It appears Chapter 3 will contain 2 stages, much in the same way as Chapter 2 featured Agatha's schoolhouse and the Gold Watchers who inhabited the manor. Chapter 3 looks to feature both dread duckies and clown gremlins. This was the first concept art from the sewer stage of the chapter, which seems to be the setting for the duck level. Now I must clarify that this art was pulled from the game files by a user named McChew on the Steam Community Hub, but it seems pretty authentic as we can see an early work in progress of the map which looked like this, and then eventually turned into the image you are seeing here, released by the developers themselves. Here we get a better look at this dread ducky and see it contains a traffic cone on its head and also looks pretty large for a rubber duck. I mean, it wouldn't exactly fit in your bubble bath, but here in the channels of a sewer system, it fits right in. The environment looks dingy and low lit, meaning it will be tricky to navigate. The official Dark Deception Twitter page commented on movement within this level, saying, "Have you ever tried running in the water? It's pretty tough to do." And then coupled with another tweet which stated, "Notice from Malak to mortals, enjoy your moment. It's not going to be so easy to escape from now on." This suggests that this new area and the clown stage we will discuss in a moment are going to be the most difficult yet. Perhaps we will have to avoid the water as much as possible, as it will essentially act as a trap, slowing movement right down, which means we may need to fall back on our trusty teleportation skills to escape these terrifying creatures. I mean, who wants to wade through sewer water anyway, right? So we know the location of the first of these new stages, we know the water will act as a trap to slow down our movement, and we know it will be the toughest stage yet. But what about these mysterious ducks? How will they attack the player? Well, we don't have much info on this so far. Currently you are looking at a concept video from the game's creators showcasing the way these dread duckies float on water throughout the sewer stage. But this video doesn't show their attack animation or anything like that. Instead, they seem pretty placid and non-lethal. Of course, this won't be the case when we actually meet them upon Chapter 3's release. We can see that they have sharp teeth, and below their mouth seems to be a mechanism to allow their jaw to open really wide. So it seems like they will be able to bite the player as one of their key attacks. Because they have traffic cones on their heads, and there seems to be many of them throughout the waterways of this level, I predict the player will navigate around them in a similar way to avoiding floating mines. Accidentally touching a ducky as it floats by will likely result in it waking up and attacking the player. And if our movement is indeed much slower in the water, then avoiding contact with these ducks as they float by may prove to be difficult. There has also appeared some leaked concept art on the game's community page on the Steam store. I cannot say if this art is official, but if it is, then it reveals many possible designs for this new enemy and what may lie beneath the surface of the water, suggesting these are not simply ducks at all. Some of these images show a gigantic alligator-looking creature attached beneath a duck. Others show long muscular legs and a gigantic mouth lying in wait. All look very creepy to be sure. Now if these dread duckies do indeed have legs attached, then that would mean escaping to land would not be escaping at all, as these ducks will have the ability to leap out of the water and give chase on foot. A terrifying and likely concept, as we know the challenge is going to be upped once more here. And the music we have so far for this stage certainly seems pretty nail-biting too. Check it out on the game's official YouTube channel, there's a link in the description below. Here is a small sample to whet your appetite. But of course we know Chapter 3 will feature a second stage too. However, this one we know far less about, and only have a few small pieces of information to speculate on. We know the enemy pursuing us in this 5th stage will be a pack of clown gremlins. Clowns are terrifying to many people, myself included. I'd rather not encounter them in horror games at all, and no doubt that is why developer Glowstick has decided to do just that. They are fully aware that clowns are not a fun time and will scare the living daylights out of their fans. You can see from the image on screen these clouds do not look friendly. A second image shows they are tiny, and this means there will probably be quite a few of them chasing us down at once. I expect the stage they inhabit to be a carnival or amusement park of some kind, which may tie into the story of the game, as certain stages seem to hint at our character being a parent who abandoned his loved ones. So a carnival stage feels appropriate for his purgatory if this is indeed the setting of the game, as we have theorized in the past. Clowns fit right into this. Unfortunately, this is all the information we have for this secretive second stage of Chapter 3, so now let's move on to a look at what we may expect in Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is a long way off, but strangely we do have a fair amount of info for at least part of it. As you can see from the thumbnail, the 4th chapter looks to contain 2 stages once more. One has a nurse-like figure with a medical symbol for a head and a creepy teddy bear as the enemies found within. Unfortunately, this stage has little to no information surrounding it. I would presume it takes place in a hospital, potentially a children's ward, and so the nurse and teddy bear would be quite fitting for such an environment. But for now we can only speculate on this. A low quality leaked image of the portals found to the right of Bierce's ballroom do show the nurse symbol on one of these portals. The other portal has this symbol on it, the face of a bunny rabbit, although not a particularly friendly one. We have a bunch of images to check out for this second Chapter 4 stage, so let's take a look at them now. This stage contains a group of creepy looking animals, a pig, a chicken, and a rabbit. When I initially laid eyes on this group, I assumed they were people wearing suits. However, as we can see from this next picture, they appear to be killer animatronics beneath their friendly exterior. This suggests this stage could be heavily inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's. And what is most interesting here is that one of the game's 2 main developers, Nixon, came from a background developing FNAF fan games, most notably the Joy of Creation story mode. So it appears he will be bringing that experience creating super scary animatronic fan games to this particular stage of Dark Deception. So these killer robots will likely stalk us through some kind of slaughterhouse or perhaps a restaurant type location similar to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria within the world of FNAF. It seems like they may casually wander around the area until they detect the player, at which time their eyes light up red and they chase us down, again in a similar fashion to the FNAF animatronics and their behaviour in those games. If we look at some of the older concepts for this stage, we can see that there was once planned a panda enemy too, which was even modelled at some point in development and so could still potentially make an appearance. We can also see here that it looks like the pig animatronic was originally going to morph into some kind of horrifying spider-like hybrid and chase players down on 6 legs. Let's hope the creators have decided against this particular enemy for obvious reasons. But with that said, we've come to the end of today's video, guys, and we have gone over most of the details released so far for the next 2 chapters and 4 levels in Dark Deception. Things may well change before the release, and these stages are still shrouded in mystery, but I do hope this video has given you a little bit more extra information and something to tide us over while we wait for the launch of the next episode. Now remember to go and follow Glowstick Entertainment and the Dark Deception Twitter and Instagram accounts for the latest updates, as well as their YouTube channel too if you're not doing so. And if you have enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button of course, let me know what you think of these new chapters and what they'll have in store for us in the comment section below, and of course subscribe for more horror related content from myself, and I will see you in the next video.